What's poppin', y'all? Idols become rivals, and Charlamagne would finally have the sit down with academics after their, I wouldn't even call it a Cold War. You could say, a little bit of a back and forth after Charlamagne decided to get involved with the battle against Rock Nation that academics has had for quite a while. And there is so much material in this interview to go through, but I'm going to focus on specifically one tiny thing that dismantles everything that Charlamagne has been talking about. So if you guys recall, Charlamagne was recently exposed for having been a part of the people and not disclosing it, the people that were going to push forth for the casino and Jay-Z's casino bid, and he was listed underneath Rock Nation. But in this interview, he would quote a couple of different articles, which he's mentioned before and we've covered, but these articles get absolutely torn to shreds. So, in my opinion, it seems to be Charlamagne's favorite news outlet. He brings up the article.
Hey, okay, this is George. I'm gonna read you this article. You tell me if I'm tripping. This is from InverseWire.com.
Nobody even heard about this website until you brought it up.
True.
It's not like you read it from CNN. Charlotte, you read InverseWire.com.
Listen,
Yo, Charlotte, stop it, bro.
take advantage of the worldwide net.
Yo, Charlotte, man.
You take advantage of the worldwide net, and you know
You
them.
basically
You
say,
know
yo,
them don't read.
yo, Charlotte.
You know them don't read.
Yo, what
You
Charlotte's
take
doing right
advantage
now,
of
what camera is it?
What
What Charlotte's doing right now,
is reading.
he's basically saying, yo, we got an article from NawRight.com. Like,
That's not true. That's not true.
nobody ever heard of that site.
Okay, well, after this, I'm gonna read the Wall Street Journal one. You ever heard of that one?
Yeah, but that got, does it mention George?
It mentions
No, it doesn't mention George.
Drake and Aiden Ross.
Oh, so you're moving the goalposts.
No,
That's
I'm
what I
not,
said.
because
That's
Okay, fair enough. Isn't it so odd how he makes sure to name the site? He's like, yeah, InverseWire.com, as if like you need to know the name of the site. It's legitimacy. Okay, fair enough. But he would say, and he wouldn't say like, oh, this is just a site that I came across. He would say that it's a reputable outlet.
Can I read this?
Yeah, from what site? Just say the site one more time.
InverseWire.com, which is a very reputable site. You're trying to convince the worldwide nigga it's
Yo,
not.
this is realnews.com.
You're trying to convince the worldwide nigga that it's not.
Who's the author of that one?
I'll tell you right now, the author of it is, his name is
I think you gotta, you must have
Dalton Jackson, senior systems and culture writer, systems, media, incentives, and the architecture underneath modern culture. That's who wrote this article.
Sounds like a lot of word salad for. All right, this is my own independent blog. It's a Substack. Go ahead.
I'm gonna read this, and we can move on from this, honestly. But I'm gonna read you this. I just want to know what you think about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's where the loop closes on itself and gets genuinely strange. The lawsuits allege those rigged casino winnings weren't only for show, they were a laundering rail. Money allegedly moved through states' encrypted tipping feature, described in the complaints as a wholly encrypted and substantially unregulated tool, perfect for pushing untraceable crypto to people you'd rather not be caught paying.
And this isn't the first time that he brought it up. The first time, and he was the first person that ever brought up this site. And that was back in June 27th. He would mention this same site again with this same article.
Senior systems and culture writer at InverseWire.
Okay.
And the headline is, "Pay no attention to the grand wizard behind the curtain." And there's a picture of Drake and Aiden Ross, and it says 5 lawsuits say the bets were rigged, the screams were bought, and even the chat losing its mind was a hire inside the machine that manufactures Drake. Now,
Drake.
Yeah, Drake. Drake.
according to this article on Inverse, it says, according to a stack of class action lawsuits filed across 5 states this spring, almost none of what you just watched was real. And it's talking about these bets that happen on what website
I think
is it?
Stake Cash was one of the ones, Polymarket. If it's the same article I read, basically what it was insinuating or claiming, maybe not even insinuating, is they have celebrities, influencers.
Oh, it is Stake, yes.
Yeah, go live, right? And you watch them making bets in real time.
Yeah.
And then it looks like obviously they're hitting and they're like, I think the term.
You want me to read the article? I can read that part.
Oh, read it, yeah.
It says, picture the scene. Because you've already seen it 100 times. Drake, gold dripping, leaning into Aiden Ross's webcam. A 6-figure number on a slot screen. The real spin, they land. The number doubles, then doubles again. And the chat detonates into a wall of fire emojis and he's different. A millionaire wins $1 million more, live, while a few 100,000 kids watch and quietly do the math. If that's easy for him,
maybe it's that easy for me.
So here we have it. Well, academics reading the site or reading just a little bit of the article, he's like, yo, this kind of sounds like AI. And then, of course, Charlamagne, this is something that he's done this entire interview. He just deviates to the next topic. Oop, hopscotch, we're playing hopscotch, or the floor is lava. We're just going to move on to the next thing. But academics would expose him when he was doing the live stream for this.
He's been reading from this website for literally 3 weeks. Go to it. When you go to it, the top story is still that. It's not like they're covering match. Look, the top story is still that. Bro, how you been reading from this? Imagine CNN has one article up there for 3 weeks. Come on, bro. Like, bro, why we going like, yo, this website he's talking about has the same story on their front page for 3 weeks.
InverseWire.com, which is a very reputable site.
InverseWire.com, which is a real reputable site. Charlamagne the guy who's involved in politics, who's interviewed goddamn Kamala Harris, I think even Joe Biden. You see what he's saying is a reputable site. InverseWire, we're on it. I told you the article on there. The date of publishing was June 17th. It's still on their front page. Let's do a little research, chat. Everybody could do this. You go to a website called whois.com. This is going to give you the info about every website in the world. Whois.com. Y'all could do it yourself. Let's go to domain or IP and type in inversewire.com. When you type that in, it says the website was registered on 5/13, 2 days before Drake album dropped. Like, come on, bro. This is what I'm dealing with in the media. Mad reputable. How's it mad reputable? Nobody ever heard of it. No, it's mad reputable. It was registered 2 days before Drake album dropped. Come on, bro. Yo, I'm telling y'all, this yo, where my belt? Where my belt? Y'all gonna keep getting belt to ass when y'all keep lying like this.
So this is an absolute joke. And then he would also cite the writer, like as if like, yo, you know, these are reputable journalists. You know, the guy that wrote this, Dalton Jackson. Well, academics would also cover the writer.
Dalton Jackson, InverseWire, LinkedIn. 60 plus Dalton Jackson profiles. None of them go back to that. Yo, this is an evil world we live in, bro. This is an evil world we live in, gang. This is an evil world we live in. That's what I'm gonna tell y'all, chat. This is an evil world we live in, bro. This is an evil world we live in. The Whois page, you can't find the person who actually registered it. It just goes to this company, which is a hosting company. If you type in this and you search this, it's going to bring you to the information about where this thing is hosted. If anybody knows about website, you probably are familiar with Bluehost, GoDaddy. That's US based, like, you know, website hosting companies. This website that Charlamagne is quoting, listen to what it says. The official corporate entity and ICANN accredited registrar is headquartered in Lithuania. So they're using a Lithuania hosting company. If you're a regular outlet in America, like, I don't know, hip hop page these days, I don't know, but CNN wouldn't try to host their servers in Lithuania. With over 490 employees, the company generates and operates globally for core services, share hosting, cloud hosting, VPS domain registration, and AI website building. InverseWire.com.
What's funny enough, this is something that you build with Claude. It's like your first vibe coding website type of deal. They're even using Hostinger, and that's one of the more popular hosting platforms. Like back in the day, there used to be many different hosting platforms. Hell, like 10 plus years ago, if you were getting a WordPress site done, you would probably use Bluehost. That was the most shilled one or promoted one because they had like a really generous affiliate program. But there were things like Bluehost, HostGator, etc. But Hostinger is the new one that everybody anybody that uses AI and hosts these AI apps, web apps, or websites, that's the one that they use. And funny enough, academics would also take a look at a couple of other writers on that site.
There's another guy. Let's go find the other guy. There's another guy that was on the website too. Hold on. Brianna Lawson. Is this Janae Eiko? Yo, bro, I'm done with it, man. Yo, this is some shit, man. This is some shit. Claudia Martinez. Really? Okay. Matt Clement. Oh, we can't even click on him. It just goes to Inverse Sports. Oh, you want to see Matt Clement? This is Matt Clement right here.
And funny enough, I would just take a little bit more of a look on this site. Like, at this point, you have to believe that this is a fake site. And the only person that has pushed this site has been Charlamagne. He keeps talking about it. He was the first to mention it on June 27th. The site was registered on May 15th, or basically around the same time that Drake dropped. That's when this site was registered. And one of the early articles was trash talking Drake, but I was like, yo, let me check and see what's going on with this site. Well, funny enough, since June 23rd, and keep in mind, June 27th was the date that Charlamagne first spoke about it. So it was a couple of days after they populated a ton of articles. So what they'll do is they'll populate a ton of articles, which if you just read these articles, dog, this is just AI summaries. What they probably put in the prompt is AI summaries of the biggest news platforms and just post it. Because after this happens and this gets exposed, they put up 27 articles in one day. So from July 11th to July 12th, they put up 27 articles. And before that, the previous article was written on June 23rd. And this is supposed to be a site that is, not only is it a reputable outlet, like Charlamagne said, and you know, it's so funny, throughout this whole interview, Charlamagne says, man, you're trying to fool the net. You know they don't read. You know people don't read. Well, he mustn't read, or he must be echoing what he believes, which is like, man, these people aren't going to read this. And funny enough, some people still try to deviate from this. But one of the articles, funny enough, was about the Knicks. So these guys write an AI article about the Knicks, which I tweeted about, like, look at this. The Knicks didn't play the game. They changed it with an AI generated thumbnail for it as well. And just one of the lines, which you really get the AI feel, is culture isn't a buzzword. It's the only moat left. What the hell are they talking? The Knicks didn't play the game. They changed it. You're reading this and you're like, what the hell is this AI nonsense that's going on? And funny enough, it took them a month. So July 11th, the Knicks won the championship like a month ago. So a news site is posting about the Knicks winning the championship alongside 27 other articles the day after they get exposed. Or the day of that they get exposed, and it's by the founder, the founder, Anthony, who this guy looks AI himself, or they just took a photo from somebody else. And one guy that they didn't wait a month to write about, funny enough, was Jay-Z. So if we take a look at Jay-Z, and keep in mind, when you look at one of the earlier articles, it's Drake's 2026 output reveals AI's grip on hip-hop incentives. So here you can clearly see that they're taking a certain stand on Drake. So that's, Drake, AI, they're writing negative things about Drake. But hey, listen up. Charlamagne's going to say, man, you sound manic. Jay-Z ain't got nothing to do with this. Whatever. That's not the point here. The point here is that Charlamagne was echoing a site and saying that it's reputable through his own mouth. We have proof of it in an interview, and he's been talking about this site for several weeks, and it's fraud. It's fake. And even in the description, they put Inside Wire article instead of Inverse Wire, but that could have just been an error from the uploader of the guy that's putting it out there. But funny enough, Charlamagne, the guy that was on the Brilliant Idiots, he would also say like, yeah, I read that article. But the guy that was more important than the Knicks that they had to get to right away was none other than Jay-Z. Right. The day after he does a performance, Jay-Z's Quiet Inheritance, Therapy as hip-hop's unfinished blueprint. Let me just read this for you guys, right? Because these are great writers. This is a great publication, according to Charlamagne. And it's a reputable publication, according to Charlamagne. Years after his first public reckoning with emotional intelligence, the rapper's early words on stigma in schools remain the through line as a new generation builds what he named. What the hell is this saying? I really wanted to say an expletive there, but, you know, like, I'm on probation. YouTube keeps playing with me, so I got to be a good little boy for them. And I will do that. In 2017 and 2018, Jay-Z sat for interviews that cut deeper than most celebrity disclosures. He spoke plainly about therapy. See, this is a glaze fest. The work that remains, stigma has not vanished. Access remains uneven. The weight of fame, trauma, and expectation. Jay-Z's gift was never a single organization. It was the insistence that the self underneath the persona deserves the same rigor that we bring to me. What the hell are they talking about? What's the point of this article? What is the opinion on this article? It's nothing. It's a nothing piece. It's a glaze piece. And they write that about Jay-Z, funny enough. So Jay-Z gets the positive articles, Drake gets the negative articles, and the headlining article is conveniently unrelated to any of the other articles that are going around that have to do with Drake or Aiden Ross and Steak. But they keep this is the only article that gets tied to Academics Mans. So this is such clownery. And after I point this out, a bot just hops in, a bot that just randomly gets generated. If you're on Black Hat World and you want to buy some old aged Twitter accounts, because you can't just make a new Twitter account, you've got to get the aged ones. Well, you see this account joined December 22, and it's Carl C4. Okay, funny enough, running a little bit of damage control and I would tweet out and I would say, Charlamagne and his cronies got to be running bot damage control with more bots. Account starts tweeting yesterday, and it's only 4 tweets are replies of the same exact thing. Even the smiley screams bot. And then you see this person says, come on, Ak, you're focusing on the AI-generated article, which takes from real, reputable news outlets. You know what's the funny thing? This is also identical. This has to be a Charlamagne alt or something, because they're saying you, academics or whoever else, is focusing on the AI-generated article. This is the same gaslighting that was done in the entire interview. Charlamagne is the one that focused on that AI-generated article. Charlamagne is the one that first introduced us to this site. Charlamagne has mentioned this site at least 4 different times publicly, and he is the one that said it is reputable. So no, nobody's focusing on that site. Charlamagne is pointing us to that site. He says, Charlamagne mentioned one of them in your conversation. The SMH and the Age article. Maybe expose the authors there. I already covered that. There was like a Sydney article that was written, and that has nothing to do with the current article. And it's a small Sydney newspaper. It's a local like newspaper, digital newspaper, whatever. So that's a huge nothing burger. But he's just replying, like just straight damage control. And that's the only 4 posts that this page has. And then funny enough, this page replies to my tweet and says, buddy, I'm curious to know when you think my relationship with Charlamagne started. And I'm like, what the hell is this person talking? I would like to know when this account started. And its only purpose is to reply. And then what's funny enough is that this same account tweets and says, Grand, you need to coordinate with your man, and tags me. I've never spoken. I have 0 DMs exchanged with academics. I have 0 DMs exchanged with Grand Wizard. I have 0 DMs exchanged with Academics TV on any platform. I've never spoken to these people. And he says, unlike you, he made sure to include all of my so-called posts, with one mentioning multiple articles. This person talks just like Charlamagne. And this is the funny thing. They will accuse you of doing the same thing that they're doing. So they think that anybody that's opposed to this or that just has eyes is crazy and is colluding with each other. Because, in my opinion, that's what they're doing. They have a concentrated effort. Hey, we're going to push this narrative, guys. We're all going to hop behind it. And then when you recognize it, they're like, wait, hold on. What's going on? Oh, these guys must be botting. Because there's no way that organically people aren't believing what we're saying and they all organically have an opposing message. Isn't that crazy? But I am willing to cut Charlamagne a little bit of bail. The only reason why I say that is what I think happened is that they give Charlamagne the talking point. So if you guys recall, when Charlamagne was saying that Times Square, you know what the one thing that Times Square needs is? a casino. Said nobody ever. You ask any Times Square resident, you ask any New York City resident, if you polled 100,000 people and said, hey, what's one thing that you think Times Square needs? You know what none of them will say? Not a single one, not a single soul will say a casino. But that's what Charlamagne believed everybody said.
There's nobody in New York that could get a casino license that could attract a diverse crowd of people from all over the world that Sean Carter would.
Now, the proposal, as Charlamagne said, they want to give back to all surrounding businesses. They want to commit.
I'm confused because where's the ad disclosure? This sounds like an ad to me, but I ain't seen any ad disclosure. I ain't seen nothing to say advert, sponsored content, equity owner. I'm not sure because the FTC said that you got to disclose this, but I'm not seeing any ad disclosure. I didn't start the video. I said this is paid product placement. This video is still in violation of the FTC guidelines.
Made $115 million for diverse theater programs.
So even in this, it sounds like he's reading an ad. Like Charlamagne, he talks for a living. Reading this, it's like he's reading an ad. And that's the same thing that happened with the inverse wire thing. It's like he's told, yo, you got to hit these talking points. You got to say it like this. You got to make sure to mention this. And he does just that. But the problem here is that I think that I don't think Charlamagne was privy to the fact that, hey, we're going to build this AI site and then we're going to, push it towards or at academics and we're going to make you look goofy. Because I don't know why they didn't think they would get exposed for something this poorly done. Although it works on the majority of Jay-Z fanboys, which seem to be idiots, to be honest, that just believe, not Jay-Z fanboys, like, because you can like Jay-Z's music. I love Jay-Z's music. You might have seen me at the concert. I really enjoy Jay-Z's music, but it's getting harder to enjoy his music when the games that they're playing are just like, yo, this is lame. This is whack. So I think that they just sent Charlamagne out as a dummy. And he's saying these articles because he trusts them. He believes that they have his best interest. And he believes that their collaborators, they would never snake me, right? They would never do me wrong. You know who else thought that? Bobby Shmurda. You know who else thought that? Colin Kaepernick. You know who else thought that? Probably Jeremy Hecht, the guy that said, oh, academics is taking political money. You realize how the whole political narrative just went nowhere? Charlamagne was talking about it. That didn't even show up in the interview. They never mentioned politics in the interview, ever. And that was something that Charlamagne was talking about. But Jeremy Hecht got exposed. You think they told Jeremy Hecht, yo, by the way, these are Rumble payments and you got to make it look like this? No, they said, hey, this is what you got to put out there. He puts it out there. And funny enough, he got made to look like an absolute fool on the internet as well. So Charlamagne, they're just trying to use his 20 plus years of good reputation, and he ruined it. And he deserves it because this guy is he's a devil. In my opinion, Charlamagne is a devil. The way that he speaks, the way that he deviates from all of these different questions, and just this specific instance, he knows a lot more than he's sharing. And dear God, I'm so glad he needs to make himself donkey of the day. That's the only way, because there's also a clip where he says, hey man, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to say it.
If I'm wrong, I promise you I'll be the first person saying I'm wrong.
Charlotte, listen.
So hopefully we have some sort of defense being run in regards to this clip, but I'm sure that won't happen. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'm going to see you on the next one.